उपेन्द्रो वामनः प्रांशुर् अमोघः शुचिरूर्जितः अतीन्द्रः सङ्ग्रहः सर्गो धृतात्मा नियमो यमः उपेन्द्रो वामनः प्रांशुर् उपेन्द्रो वामनः प्रांशुर् उपेन्द्रो वामनः प्रांशुर् अमोघः शुचिरूर्जितः अमोघः शुचिरूर्जितः अमोघः शुचिरूर्जितः अतीन्द्रः सङ्ग्रहः सर्गो अतीन्द्रः सङ्ग्रहः सर्गो अतीन्द्रः सङ्ग्रहः सर्गो धृतात्मा नियमो यमः धृतात्मा नियमो यमः धृतात्मा नियमो यमः उपेन्द्रो वामनः प्रांशुर् अमोघः शुचिरूर्जितः अतीन्द्रः सङ्ग्रहः सर्गो धृतात्मा नियमो यमः. In this shloka number 17, we have 12 names from 151 to 162. The 151st nama is Upendraha. For the purpose of Pushparchana, we say Om Upendraya Namaha. Upendra is the name of the younger brother of Indra. In Vamana avatar, Bhagavan is born to Aditi and sage Kashyap. Hence, Bhagavan is called Upendra as the younger brother of Lord Indra. While Shankaracharya quotes this, he also emphasizes on another value. Quoting from Harivamsha, he says, "And because the cows made you above me and as my Swami, the world will sing you as Upendra." The Upa as an Upasarga or the prefix means to follow. Upari means one who is above. So here the term Upari is taken in Harivamsa. It goes like this: Mam Upari Yatha Indraha Tvam Stapitha Gaubihi Ishwaraha. In a similar context, an Acharya takes the meaning of one who is superior to Indra. The quote is Lord Krishna subduing Indra by providing shelter to Gokul when it was flooded by Indra, the Govardhanagiri, when he lifts that and protects Gokul. From the point of view of meditation on spiritual values, one must look at the Atma as superior to Manaha. Typically, we follow what our mind or Manaha seeks. Realizing that the soul is superior, Upendra, to Manaha and pursue the path as enlightened by the soul is the value to meditate. The 152nd nama is Vamanaha. For the purpose of Pushparchana, we say Om Vamanaya Namaha. Vamana is an incarnation of Vishnu. Once, a demon by name Mahabali grew so powerful that he gained the position of Indra. To save the Devaloka, Lord Vishnu takes the birth of a dwarf as brother of Indra and destroys the ego of Mahabali. One can see this nama as a direct reference to this avatar. In the story, Vamana requests for 3 steps of land from Mahabali. In the first step, Bhagavan acquires all the 7 upper lokas. In the second step, he acquires all the lower lokas. And when asked where to place the third step, Mahabali offers himself. 2 important values we get are: 1. What you acquire is always limited. And 2. It is only when you surrender your ego you get in the path of realization. The 153rd nama is Pramshuhu. For the purpose of Pushparchana, we say Om Pramshave Namaha. As per dictionary, The word means strong, tall, intense, long, etc. Taking the reference to previous nama, the quality of Bhagavan being immeasurable is the value that is attributed to this nama. To this, Shankaracharya gives a quote from Harivamsa in which Bhagavan is described to have grown to the size where the earth was the feet, the sky and the heavens were his head, bearing the moon and sun as eyes. Thus, Pramshuhu. The 154th Nama is Amogha. For the purpose of Pushparchana, we say Om Amoghaya Namaha. We have seen this Nama earlier in Shloka number 12. Remember the difference between Moham, which means confusion, delusion, etc., versus this Nama, which is Mogham, which means futile or fruitless. Earlier, we had seen the meaning that nothing that has happened is meaningless. Everything has a purpose, and most of the time, we are just unable to see it. The error of repetition, the Punarukti dosha, is removed by associating two distinct values. One, that actions of God are never futile, and the other, the actions of God bear very important purposes. In short, negation of the negative and assertion of the positive are the two ways that the two instances of the Nama are treated. When we look at Sahasranama with reverence, we should consider the repetitions as emphasis for us to consider more time on meditating on those values. The 155th Nama is Shuchihi. For the purpose of Pushparchana, we say Om Shuchaye Namaha. This Nama will occur again in Shloka number 27. The word was also seen as an upasarga or prefix to the Nama Shuchishravaha in the Shloka number 13. Bright, white, pure, clean, etc. are the meaning one can find in the dictionary for the word Shuchihi. Acharya gives the value, and because Bhagavan's mere thought purifies those who think of, praises or worships him, he is called Shuchihi. Acharya asserts this with the quote from Veda in praise of God. From the point of view of spirituality, one must remember that the soul is distinctly separate from the body. Subject is different from the object. Impurities are associated only with the object. When one associates oneself to the soul, clearly distinguishing body from the soul, one remains pure or attains the purity of God. The 156th Nama is Urjitah. For the purpose of Pushparchana, we say Om Urjitaya Namaha. The Nama comes as a prefix to another Nama, Urjita Shasanaha, in Shloka number 97. Urja means strength. This is a common word in use even today. One who is endowed with unlimited strength is the meaning of the word Urjitah. Shankaracharya gives his Anubhavam as Bala Prakarshashalitvat Urjitah. In terms of spirituality, the emphasis is given to the unlimited strength of God from which we derive our strength. The exercises we do, be it physical or reading and listening or meditating, does not increase my strength. They help in focusing the strength to a specific field. The core strength is that which we get from the urja of the god. Hence he is called Urjitah. The 157th nama is Atindraha. For the purpose of Pushparchana, we say Om Atindraya Namaha. This is similar to taking Upari as the context in Upendra. One who is superior to Indra is the value attributed to God here. We will see a similar nama in the next shloka as Atindriyaha, in which the emphasis is on the sense organ. Here the emphasis is on the godly powers that you encounter in life. Be it sun or rain or fire, all these are ruled by Indra, the king of demigods. In this nama, the emphasis is that Bhagavan is the one who surpasses even the powers of demigods and their king Indra. The 158th nama is Samgraha. For the purpose of Pushparchana, we say Om Samgrahaya Namaha. One who holds everything together is the value attributed to God in this nama. I wish to quote here the nama Nigraha in shloka number 81, which is quite the opposite of this nama, one who destroys or kills. Interestingly, Shankaracharya gives a similar meaning for both. Here he says Sarvesham Pratisamharat Samgraha. The reference here is to the time of Pralaya, the final dissolution. It is said the world we experience is dissolved into the God, hence Bhagavan is called Samgraha. There are other acharyas who have expressed their anubhava differently to this nama. One who becomes one with the being who is expressing devotion. Or because Bhagavan can be easily attained through bhakti, he is called Samgraha. In spirituality, we hold the value that this entire creation is held together at all times, while exercising the independence to do what one can and what one desires. Every object is made of components, and everything is a component of something bigger. This aspect is worthy of deep meditation and contemplation, be it for spiritual growth, management, or even a contented living. The 159th nama is Sargah. For the purpose of Pushparchana, we say Om Sargaya Namaha. The dictionary has several meanings associated with the word: nature, stream, resolve, procreation, gust of wind, etc. Srijati iti sargaha. One who creates is sargaha. And because Bhagavan is the creator of this world, he is called Sargaha. For meditation, one should focus on what is creation in your mind. You will observe that creation is nothing more than a name and form given to something that existed, and destruction is the removal of that name and form and not the removal of the existence. You must ponder on the creation at physical as well as subtle level. This will lead you to know the same at the causal level as well. The 160th nama is Dhritatma. For the purpose of Pushparchana, we say Om Dhritatmane Namaha. While this nama is unique, there is another similar nama, Swadhrith, in shloka number 90. Also a nama which kind of negates this Dhritatma as a concept comes as Adhritaha in shloka number 90. As per dictionary, the meanings given are steady, firm-minded and calm. Shankaracharya gives his anubhavam to this nama as Eka Rupena Janma Adi Rahitataya Yena Saha Dhritatma. Bearing one form and being without birth, etc., one who remains without any change is Dhritatma. This characteristic of God is established by the famous mantra Satyasya Satyam in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. For that matter, the entire Swayamjyoti Brahmanam establishes this firm and independent nature of God. For spirituality or meditation, the value is to analyze your own dependencies with the realization that dependencies are applicable only to the anatma, that is the body, and not the atma, the soul. The 161st nama is Niyamaha. For the purpose of Pushparchana, we say Om Niyamaya Namaha. The name occurs again in shloka number 92. As per the dictionary, meaning for the word niyama are law, restriction, stipulation, observance, practices of self-restraint, etc. Shankaracharya gives his anubhavam as sweshu adhikareshu praja niyamayati iti niyamaha. And because within one's own limitations and authority, Bhagavan restrains the beings. The sweshu does not apply only to the living beings, but also to all the bodies, including sun, moon, air, fire, etc. Vishnu in the Trinity is the one who sustains. A sustenance is possible only when it is well regulated. The value to meditate is the realization that everything is regulated, and as a being, the regulation that applies to us is being in action. We are bound by action and not the results. Some traditions see this nama as reflecting the second of the 8 angas of Patanjali's Ashtanga Yoga. The niyama as prescribed by Patanjali are ahimsa, non-violence, satyam, truthfulness, asteyam, non-stealing, brahmacharyam, self-discipline, and aparigraham, non-possessiveness. These are seen to represent Bhagavan and the means for us to attain him. The 162nd nama is Yamaha. For the purpose of Pushparchana, we say Om Yamaya Namaha. Though this name is unique, we have Ayamaha, which comes in shloka number 92. Ayamaha denotes one for whom there is no death, and hence is not seen as a related nama in this tradition. As per dictionary, the meanings associated with this word are god of death, suppression, curb, etc. Shankaracharya shares his anubhava as antar yachati iti yamaha. And because being in your subtle body, the mind, memory, your intellect, ego, etc., he regulates your conduct. Hence, Bhagavan is called Yamaha. For the purpose of meditation, we take the value that everything, including the Jivan in nature, is strictly regulated and obeys the universal laws. Some traditions see this nama as reflecting the first of the 8 angas of Patanjali's Ashtanga Yoga. The yama as prescribed by Patanjali are Shaucham, cleanliness, Santosham, contentment, Tapaha, penance, Swadhyayam, self-study, and Ishvara Pranidhanam, surrendering to the supreme power. These are seen to represent Bhagwan as well as the means for us to attain him.